Hi guys. Excuse my wet hair, it's still drying. Who's here? It's time for coaching. It's been ages since we've done coaching, guys. I've got 2 sessions today. It doesn't look very bright. I'm not sitting really in the very bright light, am I? Who's here? Hi Anna. Hi Cash. Hi Rosemary. Hi darling. You ready for your coaching? Do you want to go first or second? You tell me. Sometimes, guys, and Maddie's here. Okay, great. We might just get started, guys, and then people can join us. Hello. I'm so excited for another coaching session. Yay! So, guys, I might just get started because I've got to leave at the end, like just before 7. So I don't want to cut your coaching short. So when enough people are here, we'll just start. So I might actually add you first. So who would like to go first, Maddie or Rosemary? I can go first. Okay, Rosemary, I'll add you first, darling. I'm going to actually add you myself because I think this is happening when you try to add yourself, it doesn't work. So I'm going to ask you to join. So I'm asking you to join now, Rosemary, okay? And I've got your sheet open. We're just going to get started, guys, and everyone can watch the replay. Hi, Ash. Hi, Sarah. Oh, doesn't count.
Hi.
Running away. Hi, darling. How are you?
Good, you?
Good. So whereabouts are you?
Sorry, can you repeat this?
Where are you? Italy?
I am in Rab, Croatia.
Croatia. Oh, are you? I'm Croatian.
Perfect. It's summer
I've
here.
never been there though. Yeah, Bok. I have actually never been there. I don't think. Have I? Traveled around a lot, but I don't know where that is. RAB.
Yes.
Oh, maybe I have.
It's near Krk, Pag, Rijeka.
Oh,
It's
near Rijeka. I've probably been there.
Yeah.
I've probably been there. All right, darling. So I thought you might be Italian because you said nonno.
Yeah, we call Nona and Nonos Nona and Nono.
You don't say Dita and Baba?
That's Dalmatia. In the northern part, it's Nona Nono or Ded Baba.
Italian. Because I say Dida. My granddad was Dida.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So tell me about what's actually happening with your love life at the moment. Is there someone that you want, or is the ex, you said ex or someone new? So are you not after a particular person, or you are?
There is someone. He actually spent the last week here with me on Rab.
Good.
And so I didn't know if we are together or if we aren't because it was complicated. And then we were out with a friend of his, and he told her that. So she asked, "Oh, that's the Rosemary you were with oh no, three years before. Like you're so long sorry, you're so long together." And he was like, "Oh no, we broke up." And I was like, wait, what?
So what's the situation now? So he's left, and now what's the situation?
I don't know. The next day we went to a dinner party with our friends, and the girl called me his wife. He was quiet. He didn't say a word. He mentioned this week like, "Oh yeah, we are friends with benefits." And I'm like, "No, we're not."
He said that to you or to another person?
No, to me, like, "Oh yeah, we can be friends with benefits." And I was like, "Well, where are the benefits?"
Right.
Because,
so what's the situation with him before this? So how long have you known this guy? What's
okay,
the relationship status
so,
been before?
yeah, we were together for 3 years, and when we first met, it was like out of a fairy tale. He almost ran me over with the car on a crossing on the road, and then I was trying to get him to be with my friend, but somehow we ended up together, and everything was just perfect. He came after I broke up with my fiance, and I had a lot of bad things going on the 3 years prior to that. And when he came, it was just perfect. And then I started to think that he was pulling away, that he's gonna leave me as well. And then we broke up, and he was really awful then. And then he manipulated his cousin to call me to her birthday So I came to the birthday party. We were together again. Then we broke up again after a year. He left me over a voice message.
Oh, okay.
And then we got back together, and then we broke up again, and then we got back together for the third or fourth time. And so this was in May when we were in a conference, and something happened there, not with him, but with the people there. And I just, well, with him as well. And I was out of my mind. My fears just went through the roof. So the
What do you mean
abandonment
something
fear.
happened? What happened?
So we were in a company of his colleagues, and there was one colleague that, so I was there also for my work, and he was like, I do not even exist. And my boyfriend, well, yeah, I'll call him my boyfriend. So he was, hanging out with him, doing what he was doing, and I was like, but this guy is pretending like I'm not even there. I would say something, and he would be like, I don't even exist. And that triggered the out of me.
Molly.
I was beyond.
So who was that guy? He was a colleague, like a work colleague.
He's a colleague, and he's like a friend he known for a long time. I didn't even know that this guy existed. And on the last day we went for a dinner, and we were sitting at the table, and he was just like going to the group. Yeah, I was trying to set up Sven with some ladies so he can fuck them. And I was like, what? And he was laughing. He didn't even defend me or anything. I was like, what the fuck is going on? And
okay,
then
so in a lot of these scenarios, it sounds like you don't say much when all these things happen.
Yeah.
You're not saying anything.
No, I keep it all inside. Even with him, I just keep it inside. I go. He actually called me Rosemary, like frozen and rosemary, because I just go inwards and I shut everything out, and I cannot even say a thing.
Why?
I think because I'm so scared that he will go away and that I will be alone.
Okay.
Because my mother, after my dad died, my mother was alone up until I was like 20 something. And yeah, she went on some dates, but the guys were just awful, and she was even with a married guy, and I had a lot of traumas because of that, because the guy's son actually followed me and threatened me, and I was like maybe 13, 14, and he was shouting on the streets that I was a whore, that he's gonna ruin my life, and I was just, what's happening? So yeah.
Right. So hang on. So go back a bit. So your dad died when you were very young, when you were a baby.
Yeah, 7 months old.
And do you have any memory of him at all? Anything? Nothing.
No, we didn't even talk about him, so I don't know anything. Just where he lived, who his parents are, and I'm the poor little girl he left because he died. So that's the story that's still on.
And your grandparents became like parents as well to you, did they?
Yeah, from my mother's side, because we lived with them. Yeah.
And what, your nono was always sick?
Nona, yes.
Oh, Nona.
She was sick she was always sick. She was always, you have 2 weeks to live, and then she would just recover, and then she would be like, you have 2 weeks to live, and then she would recover, and that was
what was wrong with her? What was wrong with her?
She had ovarian cancer, breast cancer, like every cancer you can imagine.
Okay. So then you didn't really have a man in your life as a dad figure until when? Till you're in your 20s?
Except my nono. So he was the pillar of our family. He like this.
And are they still alive, your grandparents?
No.
And how old were you when they died?
I was 18 when Nono died. He got Parkinson's, so that was really awful. Yeah. And I was the only person he remembered till the end.
Oh,
And Nona, well, she lived a
right.
lot. So
Mhm.
my aunt had to give up a lot because she took care of her, and I was like 25 when she died.
Okay. But that's still quite young to lose your grandparents as well, right? So you've had a lot of death in your life. You've had a lot of people being constantly sick and having that hanging over you. Plus you've got the thing of being the child at school with no dad. Plus you've got a mum who's alone, who has an example of looking like this is what happens when someone leaves you, you're just all alone, right? So you've got to, before I even read your scores, I knew straight away from what had happened that someone had died, because it's very obvious. And then I scrolled down, it said dad died at 7 months old, because everything that's happening to you is textbook someone's died in your reality. So the feeling like you're going to get hurt, the feeling like you're going to be left, and the possibility that they're going to be hurt or they're going to die or whatever is very, very textbook. Like, your brain has been saturated with the idea that no one in your reality is going to stick around. At any moment they could get sick, they could die, they could leave. It's not stable, right, for you. And there's this threat hanging over your head, right, which is why you're not saying anything, and why that guy is calling you Frosemarie and all this stuff, because you said, I'm so scared he'll go away, right? So unfortunately, the story is so strong that someone's going to go away, that unless you change that story, he will keep going away. So what have you been doing to change that story that he's not going to go away, or that people in your reality don't go away? What have you actually been doing?
I've been doing inner conversations, affirmations,
Yeah.
meditations. I've tried scripting, but it never really felt good to me.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
What kind
so
of inner
yeah,
conversations are you having with him? Is this
yeah,
conversations with him?
with him.
Mm-hmm.
With him, it's like he's telling me that he's here to say that he would never leave me, that
Mm-hmm.
he's here no matter what.
Yeah. Okay.
When
You
I
know what I would
feel
like you to do
bad,
instead? You know what I would like you to do instead? I would like you to have inner conversations with your little self. It's actually not about having inner conversations with him, because you can have all the inner conversations with him that you like, but the little you inside you still believes he's going to leave, regardless of what he says in the inner conversation. So I think the best thing for you to do would be to find a little picture of yourself somewhere, or imagine every night, close your eyes, and you're talking to the little you. You are safe now. No one would dare leave you. What are you scared of? And then hear her say, I'm scared people are going to leave, but I told you they're not going to anymore. That's not going to happen to you anymore. I promise you, I'm here, and I'm not going to let that happen. But how can you promise me? You're just going to have to trust me, right? Things like that. I think you need to talk to yourself, because when you're trying to still talk to the outside world and hold on to the outside world, but your brain is so convinced that holding on is what you need to do, the inner conversation kind of comes about because you're still trying to hold on. You're trying to hear him convince you that he's not going to leave, but you haven't convinced yourself that he's not going to leave. I think the focus needs to be a lot more on you. And also another inner conversation you could have is with your dad and with your nono. You could have conversations with them like, why did you leave, Dad? And him say, I never wanted to. Of course I didn't want to leave. I wanted to be there for you. Actually, I was always there. I saw this and I saw that. And when you were growing up, I saw this thing. You know, all those things, darling, because I think because your SP is just a representation of all the men in your life that have gone. And it doesn't matter how many times you have a conversation with him, your brain isn't convinced that he's anything different than these other men, because your little self has only experienced men going, so it's very hard for you to convince yourself that what he's saying is true. So even if he said to you in the 3D, I'm never going to leave you, Rosemary, I love you, your brain would go, hang on.
yeah, you are.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So unfortunately, it's actually not about him at all at this point, which is why it keeps happening, which is why you don't say anything, because you're so scared it's still going to happen, which is why you're not saying anything. So you've got to backtrack a lot. You've got to go right back to the start here, okay? Because this is not about him. And if he turned up perfect at the beginning and he's changed, you know that was you.
And I also had this thought that I had since I was a kid. So we were playing catch, and this one kid told me who would catch you, like look at yourself. And I remember that every relationship I had or every encounter I had with a guy, it was like, why would you even look at me?
Right. But darling, that's coming from someone left. You can't explain to a baby why their dad left. It makes the baby and then the child believe that there must be something wrong with them for the dad to leave, even though the dad was sick. So you can't convince that little baby and that little child there's not something wrong with them. So all that person, that nasty guy at school is reflecting is you're thinking, why would you leave me? Is there something wrong with me? Why wouldn't you stay? If you love me, wouldn't you be here? Right? It must be something wrong with me. And then they go, who would choose you? And then you go, oh, but it's because you're thinking that, right? Yeah. So everything has got to go back to, darling, the start. So when you said to me he was perfect at the beginning, how was he perfect at the beginning? What was he doing? What was he like?
So when we started, I actually had him and other guy parallel, but I decided to go with him because he was just, he was so eloquent. He was giving me so much attention. Mm-hmm. He was, you know, he brought me home after 1 week that we were together. He was just giving me so much attention, affection, and mm-hmm. you know, he told me he loved me after, I don't know, 2 weeks.
Right, and what happened? When did your fears start to kick in?
I remember that we were in bed after a month, and he got up out of bed that he needs to go to work, and I said, no, just please stay for 5 more minutes. And no, I need to go to work. And he went, and just in that moment my fears started to just grow
over that one small thing.
Yeah. And that developed the way that, so he was, you know, affectionate in the beginning and everything, and now we haven't kissed on the lips for about 1.5 years. I can count on one hand how many times we had sex in the last 7 months when I manifested him back, and it's just like, how am I doing that? What is in my brain that makes him so? It's like he is emotionally punishing me, and I don't know what I'm thinking that it's making him being so awful to me.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But darling, you do know, because you thought it a lot of times. You're just not identifying the thinking, right? So you've got to understand when they turn up like that and they were perfect at the beginning, you've got to write down all your fears. So like, you've got to think, okay, well, what am I thinking right now when he doesn't kiss me? Isn't he attracted to me? Does he want other girls? Isn't he attracted to me anymore? What's changed?
Other girl.
Right. Okay. So you've got so many stories going on as to why he wouldn't want you, or what does it mean when he goes to work? Like, just start with that one story when you said to him, please stay. Like, you had a story that if you go to work, it means you don't love me as much as if you would stay, right? So if you love me, you would stay and not go to work early or whatever. And then it just starts from that little drip of insecurity, and then another little insecurity. Oh, he's talking to a girl in a bar or something. What does that mean? And then, you know, he doesn't spend as much time with me, and then doesn't only kisses me on the cheek when he says hello, or doesn't sleep with me as much. And then all the little things, think of all the things that happened. And then, so write down all the little things from the start, from like 1 month in that started to happen, and all your fears. So kissed me on the cheek, I thought this meant this, or went to work early, I thought this meant this. And then think, did it actually mean that, or was I making that up? Oh, I was making that up. Then, because of that, I started to do this in my brain. I started to spiral that he didn't want me. I started to think this. I started to think this. So from this one fear, it kind of turned into a tsunami. So I had one little kernel of a fear, and it just kept getting bigger and bigger, like a big cyst. You've got to understand, all he's doing is he's become the culmination of this. And you're saying to me, well, why is he like that? Well, you're like that, right? So if you think of it like a cancer, you've grown a little cancer and you've produced the cancer, and then you're like, why is he turning up sick? And you're like, you're breeding a whole cancer here in your brain. Yeah. So every single time you have any of those fearful thoughts that you've written down, you're going to have to identify every single one of them and then be like, are any of these even true? No, I was imagining they might be true, right? And if you actually sat down with him one day when your brain was healthier and not thinking those insecure thoughts, he would turn around and say to you, I never said that, or I never thought that. I was never doing that. You're making that up, right?
That actually happened. I actually sit down with him and talk to him, and he was explaining some situations, and I was like, was I even there?
Right.
That didn't happen like that.
Right, but it only happens the way we're seeing it happening, right? So there's how it's actually happening and how we're seeing it happening. And you're seeing it through the glasses of, you're going to leave me. Let me find all the ways you're going to leave me. You're not going to choose me. Let me find and discover and research and uncover all the ways and the proof that you're going to leave me and hurt me and not choose me. And then he's like, I'm not even doing anything, but okay, right? So then all you're doing is reflecting that out. Then he's going to act like that more, because that's all you're turning up as, the girl who's going to get left, the girl who's not going to be chosen, with all those fears. And then he's just going to get this almost like telepathic exhaustion from your neediness mentally, that you don't even know.
He actually said that my energy is not the same at the beginning and now, that I'm just so exhausting. And yeah, he also mentioned that he mentioned to me a couple of times he never means to marry me, but I guess I keep manifesting him back, so he keeps coming, and I keep finding excuses, and then he verbalizes them, and then I guess I just get stuck on the things he said. I'm not gonna marry you, I'm not gonna come to your home, and I don't see anything else but the negative.
So, darling, the thing is, you've just proven to yourself that you thought that at first. He says it, right? So what I'm saying is, you can not say anything. You cannot say anything, and he's still mentally exhausted by you. And that should tell you everything, that you are telepathically sending him exhausted. I'm exhausting myself, over-exhausting myself, and overthinking all of this and reading into what you're doing. And I'm actually exhausting you with all my energy and all my thinking. And you're becoming overwhelmed with my neediness because I'm doing this, right? And the more you do this, the more he's going to go, let go of me. And then he's going to tell you all the ways you have to let go of him. Listen, we're not going to get married. I don't even want to kiss you. I'm just going to turn up how I want to turn up. And you're like, like this, right? And you're not even saying it, and he's feeling it.
Yes.
Right? So when you realize that, and you realize you're doing this, you've got to just, every time you feel any kind of energy that's like that, that's holding on, that's reading into, that's like this, tense, that's nervous, that's insecure, that's, you got to go, oh, whoa, relax. No. I'm taking these glasses off. It's not that. I'm letting go. I'm not holding on. I'm not going to read into it. I'm just going to listen, right? Because every time you are energetically holding on, anytime you're energetically searching, anytime you're thinking the thoughts, you're going to leave me, you don't want me, what does this mean? You're exhausting him, right? Right? Then he's going to turn around and he's going to act like the way he's acting, which is ick, like, get away from me, right? Which is the most unattractive way a guy can turn up. You don't want a guy who is madly in love with you and telling you, come meet my family and I love you in the first month, and then going, get away from me, I don't even want to kiss you, right? So you know that you did that. So if you know you did that, you don't have to read into anything he's saying right now, because you know you did it. And if you sit down and you write down all the fearful thoughts that you were having, like I said to you from the start, when he did this action, I thought this, you're going to realize you're still fucking thinking them.
Yeah. Yes,
and
because
you've been
the last 4 months, we would go out and I would be quiet. I would be so quiet because I was so afraid that I'm gonna say, do, project something that he's not.
I did that in my old relationship. Didn't matter how much I shut up, it's still manifested. I shut up so many times, so many things I didn't say about my SP's ex-wife, and I wouldn't say anything. It still manifested exactly the way I was thinking, and I hadn't said
because
shit.
I was scared. I was so scared that I'd rather say nothing than that I say something and
but then
makes
you're
him go away.
also energetically putting him on such a pedestal that, like, I'm so afraid to say anything because I'm so afraid to lose you.
Yeah.
That he's looking down at you as well. So you've got the ick factor of the neediness and the energetic holding on to him. Plus you've got the factor that you put him up so high because I'm so scared to fuck this up. Right?
Yeah.
And then he's going to lose respect for you every time he sees you, and then treat you either like a friend or a fuck buddy or whatever, because he's lost respect.
Yes.
Right?
And I remember when we started going out, I was thinking, like, you're so lucky you got with me, because look at you, look at me. And now it's like, please love me, don't leave me. Please.
Right. Okay. So you've got to go back to that girl. So sit down and write down, what was she like? Or imagine, like, even get a voice recording and get your phone and go, when we first met, I was, and start saying it if scripting doesn't work for you. And then listen to it back. I was confident. I thought I was better looking than him. I thought, aren't you lucky? You know, and I want you to go back to that girl, because that's the girl he fell in love with. This girl he doesn't recognize. This energetic, clinging on to my coattails girl. He's like, who is this? This isn't the girl I remember.
And I don't like this.
Right.
I don't like this girl.
Right.
I don't like her.
Right. And the thing is, then you're not liking her, so he won't. Because that's the thought you're sending out. Oh, this is really, I'm really scared. I'm really insecure. You're probably going to think I'm insecure. You're probably going to think I'm needy. And then he's like, God, she's so fucking needy. Right?
Yeah, he actually told me verbatim all the things I said to myself. Like, I was saying to myself for months, look how fat you got. You're not strong as you used to be. You lost all your muscles. And he was like, well, look at yourself. Who would even touch you? Look how you're like, look at yourself. And I was like, okay.
It's so shocking when it happens, because you think, why would a person who loves me treat me this way or say these things? But you've got to understand you thought it first. And then you've got to not be offended, if you can possibly not be offended, by the way they came across or what they said, because you fucking thought it. And I know it's so hard. And it's so hard because we read into what they're saying, and it's like a dagger in the heart. And you think, I can't believe you said that to me. But the thing is, you thought it, and you've got to separate yourself from what they're showing up as, how they're showing up, what they're saying, the meanness, the cruelness, the coldness, the unlovingness, and go, I am doing all of this. Like, I've got a very strong story that I do things wrong, and it keeps showing up for me in so many different areas of my life. I can't even tell you. It still shows up now every now and again, and I'm like, I can't believe this is still happening. But now I can look at it and go, well, that happened again, didn't it? Right? But it fucking pisses me off, because I'm like, I thought I got over this, right? Something happened to me about 2 weeks ago, and I was like, not again, right? But now I can stand back from it and go, all this is me thinking I fuck things up. All this is me anticipating the worst, and the worst happens. Ta-da! It's happened again. So I'm not reading into this and thinking this means anything, because I know I did that. So you've got to get to that point where, you've got to stop it from happening. But if you could just get to the point where you're observing it and going, well, I can see why this is happening, that would be a start. Right? Then he'll start to change, because you're noticing it and you're stopping it from happening again, because you're stopping your thinking, because you're stopping your mind before you spiral. Right? So him coming and visiting you, or you being in a work situation with him, would be a situation where it's like a maelstrom of like thoughts, because you're with him all the time. And that'll be the time when you're thinking the worst shit, right? Or you've got some colleague there who's ignoring you, you're thinking the worst shit. You've got to now use this time when you're not together to really get your head together, because he's not there influencing you. Right? So really use this time, really use it, and tell the new story of, no, he's only saying what I thought. He's only acting the way I thought he'd act. He's only regurgitating the things I said in my own brain. That's all this is. That's all this is. I'm not going to take offense. Then I'm going to tell myself that I'm not the girl who gets left. I'm going to tell the whole new story of me, that no one would dare leave me, because no one meant to leave me ever. So they don't mean to leave. And if they do leave, who's doing that? I'm doing that with my thinking that I'm the girl who gets left. Dad didn't mean to leave, darling. But you've got a story that everyone else is going to now. And they won't mean to, but they will if you keep beating the drum of the story of the girl who gets left for this reason, or that reason, or this reason, or I'm too fat, or I talk too much, or I'm too needy, or because of this and this and this and this, and because you're doing this and this and this and this, you're going to leave.
Yeah. Or you're not even going to come.
Or not even going to turn up, or not even going to want me, or not going to want to marry me. All the reasons. So you've got to think every single time anything comes up, well, fuck me, aren't I thinking the worst here? I'm thinking the worst case scenario here. I'm thinking all the reasons why you won't marry me, all the reasons why you won't want to kiss me, all the reasons why you won't want to sleep with me, all the reasons why you want to leave, all the reasons why you don't want me as the actual girlfriend, all the reasons why you don't want me anymore. I'm doing that. So having conversations with him ain't going to do much right now, because the person you have to convince is not him, you. Right? So if I were you, I wouldn't be having any kind of conversations with him where you're saying you're going to be like this. I would have him telling you stuff out loud that you want to hear in your mind. But then I want you to have conversations with your dad, with your nono, with your mum, with little you. They're more important conversations. And if inner conversations work for you, do those a lot. Right? And do that. Who was the girl I was when he met me? I was this girl and that girl. And listen to that back every day. Have a shower or getting me makeup on and say, when he met me, I was this and that. I'm that girl again. Right? And step into the shoes of that girl as much as you possibly can. And anytime you have fearful thoughts, think, was that what that girl would think? No, that girl doesn't think that. That girl thinks this way, the old way, which was, of course you love me. I'm better than you. Jesus Christ, I'm such a catch. La, 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 la. Whatever that girl would think, you've got to go back to her. Right? Because you've got to understand, and everyone watching this, they fall in love with the girl we turn up as, the guy we turn up as. And when we start to unravel that, they see a whole new person and they're like, who's this? And then you wonder why they're treating you different. You're acting different. You're thinking different. You've become different. So they have no choice but to treat you different. It'd be like I have a baby and the nurse and I see it and I hold it and I'm in love with it, and the nurse takes it away and takes it to the baby ward, and then I go back in a day later and I pick it up and it's a different baby, and I go, oh, I don't really, that's not my baby. But it's going, hi, I'm your baby, and it's got my name tag on it, but it's someone else's baby. I'm not going to feel the same about that baby, even though it's got the same name tag on. Someone swapped it, right? You've swapped yourself out, and you're expecting that person to love the new baby. They love the old baby. You're expecting them. You're like, I'm acting completely different. I'm thinking completely different. I'm a whole new baby. Love me. And they're like, who are you?
Yeah.
The girl you were before, and think the confident thoughts that girl had before all your fears kicked in, and write what those fears are. Then I want you, anytime those fears are coming up, I need you to have the exact opposite thing as an affirmation. So what would be one fear, like really strong fear you have, you think?
That I'm gonna be left alone.
Right. I never get left alone. If anyone leaves me alone, they didn't mean to. That doesn't happen to me anymore. That's who I used to be. That just happened to me by freak accident. That wasn't meant to happen. That's not who I am anymore, right? You've got to tell a new story about that. Okay, what's another fear you might have?
That I won't get all the love that I want. That I
right. Why?
Basically, everything comes to that I would be just like my mother was.
Right.
I'm gonna be alone, without love, without support, without affection.
Right. But darling, if you keep thinking that, it's exactly what will happen.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I know plenty of people whose mothers grew up, with no husband, got divorced early, blah, 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 never got remarried. And the kids are like, well, I'm not going to be that woman. But you're fearing being that woman. Instead of putting a fire in your belly and thinking, I don't want that to be me, your brain is thinking that's going to be you, rather than giving you fire in your belly to be determined to not be that woman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I deserve a loving relationship. Of course I'm going to have a man in my life. I'm not my mum, right? That doesn't happen to me. That's her story. That's not my story. My mum doesn't want that for me. My dad wouldn't want that for me. My grandparents wouldn't want that for me. I'm determined to not be that woman. Right? And any time you've got those niggling thoughts that that's you, be like, that's not me. Mm-hmm. What else is going on with you and that situation? So is there anything else I haven't covered here that you need to talk about?
I think that's mostly it.
Okay.
You know, I just need to convince myself that they're here to stay, and no matter what I do, I'm good enough.
Mm-hmm.
And I get.
And what are you going to do about? Yeah, what are you going to say?
Yeah, I need to get rid of that voice, that little boy telling me, who would be with you, who would get you. So
okay, but also the thing that scares me here is that you've written, what are your main questions, Loz? What's wrong with me? What's in my self-concept preventing me to get and keep a man? Even the word keep, darling, is scaring me, because that keeping is like, sounds like possessing someone, like this.
yeah.
Right? You don't need to keep him. I need you to understand that that's the complete opposite of the energy you want. Keeping is not the energy you want. You're choosing me and you're coming towards me and you're trying to keep me, right? Because the very nature of keeping something is like a holding on to.
Yeah.
You know, like,
yeah, I tend to do that.
So if you think about someone that goes, oh, can you keep this safe for me? Can you go on this set of keys? I don't want anyone to find them. Can you put them in the safe? Can you keep them safe? You can lock them away, keep it safe, right? This is what you're doing. And so the energy you're doing is like keeping energy, right? If you've ever seen Lord of the Rings.
Yes, I did, but I also did that, my precious, with my ex-fiance, when I did everything but get down on my knees and begged him to stay. I don't know, actually I did.
Okay, but if you just, you know what I was going to say, that you're like Gollum in the Lord of the Rings, going, precious.
I'm like Gollum.
Think right. So any time you're thinking that way, I want you to have an image of yourself. Am I looking like Gollum right now? Like this, going, like, and is he going to be looking at me like, God, she's turned into Gollum, right? Okay.
Yeah, my precious.
Yeah. So think about that's what you're doing to him, and that's the voice that's coming out of your brain, and you're sending him the precious voice, and he's going, "Fuck me, she's scaring the shit out of me," right?
He actually hates when I do Gollum.
Right. Okay. So tell me what happened with the fiance. So it was a similar situation, was it?
Yeah. It was a fairy tale beginning. I manifested him, even I didn't know about manifesting then. I saw him in the picture and I said, he's gonna be my husband. And we actually were about to be married. So everything was great, but from the beginning, I was searching those little things that I wanted to run away. So every couple of months, this is wrong, I'm gonna go away. Right. This is wrong, I'm gonna go away. And at the end, I broke up in a very, very awful way. I sent him a text message and I left the key of his house on the desk when he was sleeping. Mm-hmm. And after that, I completely broke down. And we were trying to be together, like we were trying to fix things for about 6 months. And I was just begging and crying and doing all these things just for him to stay. And in the end, he got involved with another girl, and I just sensed that. I mean, I knew, and I even told him, you're gonna get her pregnant in the next 6 months. He actually did.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. When we actually broke up, and he actually pushed me out of his house with my bags in a garbage, in a trash bag when it was raining, and I was in my bed for 3 months just crying and having the vision of him screwing the other girl.
The thing is, darling, the thing is, the way you acted with him, pushing him away constantly, is the complete opposite end of the spectrum with abandonment. You either cling on to them or you abandon them first because you're so afraid they're going to abandon you, so you push them away and leave them first. So you were doing both, like textbook abandonment shit, clinging rejecting, or like abandoning. So you abandon, if I abandon you first, you won't leave, I'm leaving you, right?
Yeah. And he was actually perfect. He was, giving me all the love and attention.
And then when he's left, then you're like, now come back.
Yeah.
I'm begging, right?
Yeah.
So now you've got like textbook abandonment shit. You've got to think, I have textbook abandonment shit. So if that's the case, then I need to be observant of every single textbook abandonment thing, thinking I'm going to be rejected, pushing people away, abandoning you first, clinging on to, being needy, begging in my mind or out loud. Any of these behaviors and thoughts coming purely from my fear. They're not real. I am making this all up. Yeah. So the more you fear it, the more the fear will come upon you and the more it will become real. You're literally creating things to fear about, and the more you're thinking it, the more they're actually happening.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Then they're turning up, showing you that they're happening, like the baby and the guy, him screwing the girl, and you're like, I knew it. But the thing is, you did it, right?
I even wrote it down. And I said to him, everything is gonna happen.
Right. So instead, what I would like you to do is write down what you would like to hear instead and experience instead. So even if scripting doesn't work for you, maybe have a few phrases you would like to hear. Like I had an experience the other day where I literally wrote in a journal. I wasn't even in a journal. It was in on a piece of paper, and I just stood it in front of me. And before I went to this meeting, I just had a sentence I wanted this person to say to me, and I put it in inverted commas. And literally, it was the first thing they said as they walked in the door. And I was in so much shock. I went, I'm writing it down again because I couldn't believe that was the first thing that they said. Right? And then the second thing they said was something I was affirming, and then they said that as well, but I hadn't written it down. What are you going to say?
He actually came back and he recently told me, he's single now, and he told me that he will never find somebody like me. So, yeah.
Right. And is that something you've been thinking?
Yeah.
Good.
I've been thinking
so stick with that. Stick with that story.
We broke up.
Stick with that story. So now I need you to identify every single time you have a shitty thought, they're just fears. Where's that fear coming from? Go back to your fear list that you wrote down, all your fears. Oh, it's just this one. I'm identifying it's the I'm going to be left fear. I'm not good enough fear. Because I've done something wrong, you're going to leave me. Because I'm not enough, you're going to leave me. Everyone leaves me. Of course you're going to leave me. Whatever the fear is, you just think that's all this is. So then you can disassociate from this thing you're thinking is real because you know it's only coming from that fear, and then you can think different, right? You're going to have to be very vigilant about what you're actually thinking. Then I need you to really go back in time and start talking to yourself, the little you, talk to your nono, talk to your dad, create a new you that's now going to be the you in the future, because the you of your past is still creating the you now. So you need to go back and change this girl's fears, reassure her and make her feel safe so that she doesn't keep showing up now. Right?
Yeah.
Because she's really messing with you, and she's in there niggling in your mind, thinking all these thoughts, and she's really messing it up for you. So you need to really sit her down and be like, listen, I know you're trying to keep me safe, but you don't have to fear these things anymore. I'm in control of this. I'm actually causing this to keep happening. So I would like you to not give me these fears anymore because it's actually messing it up. Everything you're fearing is coming true. You've got to stop.
Yeah.
Right? Anyway, you want to talk to her.
Manifesting my fears.
Right?
Perfect.
So talk to her in whatever way would help you. Yell at her if you have to. Be soft with her. Be sweet with her. Be kind with her. Whatever it is. But you need to identify that every single time something shitty's turning up, you've got to stand back from it, observe it, go, where's this coming from? What fear is this? Oh, that's right. Is that fear true? No. Right? Then I just want you then to go to the end of what you want with him and create a whole new story of him and abandon any old story that he's shown up as that was shitty. Just throw it away. And if he keeps showing up that way, be like, oh, that's just the old him that I created. Oh, I created a really shitty version here. That's not him. And don't react, don't say anything. Or you can say, that didn't feel very nice. Or why'd you say that? That didn't feel very nice. You can say whatever you like. Doesn't matter. You can voice your opinion and voice your feelings.
I actually started doing this week, and it was so great. So when he said that we are not together, I told him that was disgusting to say, and it was just so
Cathartic.
liberating
Yeah,
to see.
good, good.
Yeah.
So start doing more of that, darling, because then you're going to be less and less afraid to speak your mind, less and less afraid to do something wrong. And you're going to be like, doesn't matter what I say, he's still going to love me.
I even told him, if you're my reflection, what does that say about me? It's like I'm so rotten inside. If you're my reflection right now, he was like,
right. And if he's showing up shitty,
okay.
right. So
Yeah.
abandon that version of him that you've created, that monster you've created, darling, of like, I'm going to treat you like crap because you don't think you're good enough and you think you're going to be left. Just throw that monster away. You created that monster. You don't like it.
Yeah.
He's not that guy. And anytime he's
I
turning
even
up like that guy, you could voice your opinion, but change him.
I even created his past that is even worse. I mean, his abandonment, family stuff is even, it's like from a movie.
Well,
Like,
doesn't matter. Who cares?
yeah.
Whatever happened to him
Yeah.
is irrelevant. It's going to be your brain finding reasons why it's not going to work with you because he got abandoned when he was a kid, blah, 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 blah. I couldn't care what his story is.
Yeah.
It's really irrelevant, darling. Don't even worry about it. If he starts telling you his story, be like, oh, that's a shame. That's sad, isn't it? Anyway, don't listen to it, okay? It's not relevant. It's your brain finding reasons, again, why you'll be left. All it is. All it is. And that's why you'll end up attracting someone who's got a similar abandonment wound to you or something else, because it's just going to prove to you you're right, that you're going to be abandoned yet again.
Yeah. No.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
So don't believe it. Don't believe anything is turning up as if it's shitty. I want you to go. I want you to write down all the fears. I want you to talk to the little you. I want you to go back and talk to your dad. Go back and talk to your nono, right? Reassure yourself constantly whenever the fears are coming up. Have a new affirmation for each fear that's the opposite, and ignore the way he's showing up right now and paint a new picture of him. You got any more questions?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think that's it. We covered everything.
Okay. So what are you going to do?
I'm gonna talk to my little self. I'm gonna talk to my nono, my dad. I'm gonna write all my fears down and how I react to them, because there is a lot. And then I'm gonna affirm the opposite. And when he shows up back again, I'm just gonna ignore the old version.
But don't even assume he's going to turn up shitty again. Assume he's going to turn up good. And the other, you know, the image I want you to have? I want you to have that golem image, and I want you to have this image of you constantly being like this. Constantly just letting your hands go and like sitting back and just letting him come to you. Just have this relaxed like version of you sitting on a throne with your arms relaxed, open. Know this, right? And anytime you feel yourself like this, you have to have an image of yourself. No, I don't need to do anything to make anything happen. I'm just going to sit here and things are going to happen for me and come to me, and they're going to come to me, right? And I don't need to do this.
I'm actually doing this right now.
Right. So anytime you have that feeling, like even have more like relaxation stuff, like lie in bed and just be like, everything's just coming to me, right? And get rid of any feeling, any tension. Always just, do the opposite. I don't have to be that girl anymore. I don't have to cling anymore, right? And have an image of yourself like that. And the more in his presence you're like that, like I'm an open book, and I'm like, I'm zipping myself open, and I'm like going, and you can see inside me, I'm just sitting like this. The more he'll be like, oh, hi. And you'll be like, oh, pleasantly surprised, because you're not giving him this energy.
Yeah.
Or this. True. What's that mean? Right? So the more you can be in that energy before you see him, do a nice meditation, anti-anxiety meditation or something, get yourself in an energy where you're relaxed, so that when you see him or talk to him on the phone, or even before you even text him back, you do that. And get yourself in that zone of like, I'm not that girl anymore. Right? You can even put a picture of Golem on your wall and be like, I'm not that anymore, right? Okay. Because there's nothing worse. Like, think about that. All right. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
So now you know all that, and you already knew this anyway, but I've just reiterated to you that what he's turning up as is just you pushed out. Yeah. That's all it is. Yeah. So he doesn't mean what he says. Yeah, it's just your fears made manifest. That's all it is, and he doesn't mean any of it. Any of it. So don't
I can
Take it
hear.
to heart, right? Don't take it to heart. Don't get hurt. Be like, oh, that was me thinking that, wasn't it? Oh, yet again, another one of my fears made manifest. Oh, this is lovely, right? Just be like that, because that's all that is. All it is. Doesn't
Yeah.
mean anything, right? And then paint the new picture of him, create the new him, and you be like this. Okay. And then will you give us a 2-week update when you've done more of this stuff and done more of identifying your fears and done more of the non-clinginess, and see what happens? Even just tell us
Yes.
how you're feeling in yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, I've got a meditation on my YouTube called Love is Easy for Me. It's called No More Anxiety in Love. Use that.
I use it
Right?
daily.
Yeah.
When I
Yeah.
go to
Okay,
the gym,
good.
I just put a playlist and it
I
goes.
think that one's good for you, because I don't need to do anything to make anything happen. Love is easy for me. Use that one a lot. Mm-hmm. Okay, good.
Yeah,
All
definitely.
right, darling. It was lovely talking to you. I hope I helped.
Yeah, you did.
All right, lovely. All right,
Thank you.
sweetheart. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Yay. Hooray. Hang on, I'm getting on the sheet. So, Maddie, are you still here? Where's Maddie? Where is she? Let me try and find her in the list. Yes, guys, don't be like Gollum. It's a good image to have, though. Hang on, where's Maddie gone? I saw you on the list before, but now I can't see you. Hang on, I will find you. I will find you. Wait a moment. Must be right at the top. Wait a moment. There you are. All right, Maddie, I'm asking you to join. Are you ready? Okay. Are you joining? Okay, good. Yes, still here. Yeah, okay, good. So I'm just asking you to join me, darling. Ready? Okay. I'm adding you, so I don't know what's happening. It's not adding for some reason. Is it sending it to you, or has this happened again where we have to end the live and start a new live? Because it's saying adding. This happened there last time. Hang on, I'll try it again. Wait a minute. Oh, now I can't add you. Okay, I'm adding you now. I'm adding you again. Can you see it? If not, we might have to start a whole new live. This happened last week. All right, guys. What I'll do is I'll end the live, start again. Maddie straight away. So, Maddie, if you just join me straight away, I'll finish this now. You guys can watch this as like part 1 and then watch part 2 in a minute. Okay, I'm going to end the live now, guys, and come and rejoin me. Hang on.